How are you?
Hey, I am a friend. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on this morning. I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The weather is great here in the East Coast. So I understand you are in the West Coast, correct?
Yeah, Arizona. It's a good thing you got me up early. Took the dogs out before it got to be about 120 or so.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I always wanted to have a dog.
You're not a dog guy? Come on.
My God, my kids are bothering me. I said, man, but they're bothering me. But if I was to have a dog, I will have a German Shepherd.
Yeah,
Right?
those are great dogs. And just some foresight for you. They're not going to stop bothering you till they get one. So good luck to you.
By the way, what kind of dogs do you have?
Our family, we've got little ones. They're called, they're a little Cocker Spaniel dog. Those ones with the big ears.
Okay, good.
They're good dogs.
Very good. So how old are they? How old are your dogs?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. They're 7 and 2.
Okay, 7 and 2. Oh, well, nice. Those are nice age range.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good. I bet you the 2-year-old is a handful, right?
You know what you sign up for, you know?
All right. You're the founder of the STEM career readiness organization called STIIX in Arizona that works with a lot of schools districts around the country. Tell us about yourself and your organization, please.
Yeah, sure. Where do you want me to start? Because I feel like myself is my organization. That's what I spend the bulk of my time doing, frankly, is working on sticks. But personally, I have an engineering background. I live here in Arizona, like you said. This is home for me and home base for sticks. Sticks. I don't know if you even know this, IO, actually, but I'm actually a sucker for acronyms. Sticks, it
Mhm.
stands for solving technicalities with imagination, innovation, and excitement.
Wow.
And I guess long story short, we're a curriculum product. And of course, we've pivoted along the ways. The identity of Sticks and what we do has changed. But we work hand in hand, custom, side by side with school districts and organizations just to help them out with their STEM initiatives. And everybody's got them, right? Everyone recognizes the importance of this stuff. So it's really an honor to use our user-friendly platform combined with all these crazy materials behind me because we have
Yeah.
a product to really come alongside them and serve them and all the awesome kiddos that they help work with.
Excellent. Excellent. And thank you so much for defining that acronym for us, STICS. That was going to be one of my questions
It's a
for
little
you.
bit of wordsmithing in there,
Uh,
but there's a little bit of a method to the madness.
by the way, I love it. I love it. Can you say it again? So the STIC stands for what again?
Yeah, it stands for solving
Solving.
technicalities with imagination, innovation, and excitement. And
Oh my.
it just goes back to that is a passion of mine, right? Is getting
Yeah.
these kids being creative, working with their hands in that open-ended design challenge environment. And thank you for the nice words. I like it too. And I wear a lot of hats as the founder of the organization, but that's one that I cannot take credit for. I'm colorblind, funny enough. So branding and logos and all that stuff was not me. So I can't take credit for that. But I appreciate the kind words.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm really excited to learn more about your company. How long have STICS been around?
Short answer, a little over 3 years now, which is good to say out loud, and like I said, we have pivoted a little bit. We started
Yeah.
as a subscription model where we were
Yeah.
trying to sell these individual STEM kits as a subscription to families, and that was great. We're a bootstrapping operation at first, right? So I was knocking on doors trying to sell that, and then we pivoted when we started getting some traction to schools, and that's been a really rewarding thing for us because naturally, with that original business model, we were targeting families who maybe had some disposable income, who valued education, et cetera, and now we get to work with schools who could really use the help in all their STEM initiatives, so
Yeah.
on top of allowing that to grow our business and impact, it's been really rewarding personally, helping impact kids that could use it and appreciate these STEM experiences a lot more too.
Okay. Engineering is very important to us teachers, especially when we're asked to make sure that we are approaching our lesson in terms of science and engineering practices. For many of us science teachers, we know a lot about science, but the engineering practices is where the problem is. And to be honest with you, and one of the major challenge for a lot of science teachers is they don't have engineering background.
Yeah.
And then compile on top of that is resources. How does STIIX helps? What kind of resources do you provide or can you provide the science teachers to meet the needs of students when it comes to engineering practices?
Yeah, great question. I hear and I see that need and that problem all day, every day too. And as far as the resources we provide, and I'll just back up actually to the engineering design process. That's a famous slogan, right? And that's engineers, the STEM world's scientific method. And that's something that I just think is one of the coolest things. And it talks about brainstorming, which is that ideation phase and identifying the problem, stuff on paper and designing it. And then where the real fun happens, in my opinion, is the iteration of it where you're
Yeah.
improving things and then you're documenting, and that's all on top of the design and the actual build. That's where engineering and the engineering design process differentiates from just plain old science a little bit. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's really cool about this stuff.
Mm.
And as far as STIIX goes, that is a big part of what we do is what if you were to ask me to part of our value add, if you will,
Yes.
it is that we make these fun, memorable, impactful STEM experiences for kids, while at the same time making, it accessible for educators who are already being pulled in a million directions,
Mm.
not want to pull their hair out. So we've got all kinds of resources like these instructional videos on our website that, aren't protected by passwords or login for any means, so they can access those. And that's the student facing part. And those videos, they take a lot of the heavy lifting out of the actual pedagogy and teaching for the teachers, on top of showing instructional videos for how to build a fun hands-on project. And I've got a few behind my screen here when you want to see them.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
yeah, and I was just gonna say that's all those videos are on top of lesson plans and activity guides. We even have another teacher tips video where we share what works and what doesn't while leading this project. So sorry for getting a little long-winded on you, but we do have all kinds of great resources that make these fun, meaningful STEM projects really easy for teachers to teach even without a STEM background.
Oh no, I don't mind you being long-winded. Please, you
Well, I
know,
could keep going. I could keep going.
I'm an educator.
Wow.
The moment you mention resources, my ears is all open. I love the sound of that. Resources, every teacher,
Yeah.
especially every science teacher, love the sound of that. Resources to teach or to integrate engineering practices within the science curriculum. This is really powerful. I know earlier we were talking about hydraulics and the wind turbine. I know you showed me. Do you mind sharing with the rest of our audience?
I got you. Yep, I got you. So this is always a popular one for me to bring to conferences and show people that type of thing. But this is just an example of some of the stuff that students get to build and be immersed in when they're doing projects with us. This is a cool hydraulic lift project. So you can see a little bit of the setup. Of course, they get immersed into a story. They learn the science behind this stuff, and then they get to build and test out a fun project like this hydraulic lift. I promise no funny business going on. It's just all the principles of hydraulics. And we teach them about the industry related to that as well. This wind turbine project is one of my favorites as well. It deals with the renewable energy, and
Yeah.
the actual kit comes with a blow dryer or a hair dryer. I'm sorry to test this out, but I'll do my best with my mouth, and
Oh, that's pretty cool.
you can see even a little bit of wind,
Right.
not the wind turbine.
Mm.
And then I'll show you one more if you like.
Okay. Sure.
It's the stoplight project where we
Oh,
teach them
nice.
about the principles of electrical engineering and that kind of stuff. And of course, give them a chance to build a fun project. Hopefully that LED light is
Oh,
popping up.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It
Uh,
is.
Kind of a fun project, teaching them about electricity and current and everything associated with that.
Oh, that is really awesome. That is really cool. I love it. Where were you many years ago?
Well, getting credentialed, getting credentialed. Knocking on doors, like I said. It's
So,
weird.
wow, I love it. I love it. Oh, wow. What is the inspiration behind STIIX, and how do you envision impacting students in school district
Yeah.
through a hands-on educational experience?
Yeah. You actually do want me to answer you where I was years ago, because that's where the next question takes us back to, frankly, is it's quick in high school. It's time to decide where you want to go to college, what you want to major in. I didn't know, but I know I like science and math and I like being hands-on. So I did engineering, and I knew that with an engineering degree in hand, mechanical, by the way. You could do whatever you'd like, right? You can graduate and go do whatever you'd like. So that's what I did. And I thought during the course of my coursework, I would figure out in internships, figure out what I wanted to do after college. So made it through engineering school, had the degree in hand and had some cool internships, but I actually still didn't know exactly where my passions aligned with what I was good at. So I graduated and it wasn't even just me. I looked around and had conversations with friends who were in similar boats, not for lack of opportunities. The job fairs at school were great, had offers, but it was just a matter of, I don't know if I really see myself in that role. So long story short, I wanted to create an organization and a company that helps kids from a young age get exposed to these different careers in a fun, hands-on way and really just give them opportunities to resonate with careers from that young age. They don't have to graduate college with a degree in hand and not know what they want to do. Because frankly, if you're at an advantage in life, right, you can identify companies from an early age that you would want to work for, start networking with them, and it's something you're passionate about and good at. That's what separates a lot of people from others. So that's the origin story of STIIX is wanted to get on top of being passionate about getting kids off screens a little bit, being creative. I did want to introduce them to give them the opportunity to introduce them to careers from a really young age.
Excellent. I love that story. I actually do. And also, you're giving back to your community, especially our country at this point actually needs more engineers. What makes STIIX approach to introducing kids to STEAM topics and career field unique and different from traditional school day experience?
Yeah. Because it's through traditional school day experience in the end, that made that an easy question, right? Because typically these kids are just going through textbooks, right? And doing these textbook problems, this and that. We all know how that works, right? I don't need to go into that. So I think anything really hands-on, giving them this open-ended, right? Design challenge natured projects is a change of pace from the typical school day. And from my experience, kids love it. They love changing it up. As far as just resources for teachers in general, I think, or I'm sorry, for what makes this attractive to teachers is those resources that we were talking about earlier, right? So on top of just it being a very user-friendly lesson to teach from the teacher side of things. And we're a small business at Heart IO, even though we do work with hundreds of schools. We do take our relationships with our partners and friends and teachers very seriously. That's one of my favorite parts of the job. And we don't even sell packages, IO, or bundles. We literally work one-on-one with them to come up with plans for how do you want to deliver these lessons. Behind me, all this craziness right here is the materials that that kind of all in their raw form before we package them up and look nice and pretty. But when we do package them up, we work with teachers and schools and coordinators and curriculum folks and come up with, okay, how do you want us to package them? We understand you have this many students. You understand we're working with this grade level. We package it to the T for them. We don't want extra materials laying around. We don't want not enough materials laying around. We want projects that are aligned to what they're working on and teaching. So we package things up to make it just a super seamless, frictionless experience for them, all nice and organized, and just that kind of service and resource along with kind of the resources that we were talking about earlier. Just make it really easy for them. And like I said, it still doesn't take anything away from the student experience. So I think when we're able to make it a fun, impactful lesson that's easy for them, that's probably what makes us an attractive and impactful option for them. Plus being very affordable.
Oh, very good. I like that. What about for parents? Because some parents will say, you know what, we like what you have. Do you provide these resources for parents that like to homeschool their kids? And
We That's how we started IO, right? Remember I mentioned that? That's how we started was selling that. And that was cool. We did okay doing that. But it wasn't very sustainable for this reason or that. And we've been thinking about putting up another subscription page on the website, but that might be a thing or not. But we donate a lot of stuff, right? We donate some things to children's hospitals actually. So it is a great fit if you have a kit in your hand to do it with the videos because those videos are pretty mobile in different settings. So kids at home can do it. Poor kids in a children's hospital can pull up the videos and do something that takes their mind off the unfortunate, frankly, reasons that they're in a children's hospital. And we actually made a cool little app. I don't know if I shared that with you yet, but we're in the middle of actually not the middle. It's pretty dang close to being done of this cool augmented reality and career readiness app that just takes those things to the next level surrounding a couple
nice.
of projects. And that's all free. That's free whether schools and organizations, work with us or not. But we just want it to be a cool STEM resource for them. So this is a great fit at home. And I have people come up to me at conferences because that's what we do a lot. I like doing those conferences and meeting new people. And they say, "Oh, I want to do this with my daughter or my son." We donate a lot of stuff to them. I said, just send me an email. I'll send you some kits.
Excellent.
Um, and maybe next time we talk, I'll have an update on if we want to actually put the individual kits back up on the site. But as of
Excellent.
now, we phase that part out.
I think many parents will be happy to hear that.
Uh,
And,
Same offer goes to you, by the way.
no problem.
Maybe
Oh,
it'll
that's
keep your
good.
kid's mind off. It'll keep your kid's mind off the dogs for a little bit.
You know, you know what? I love the way you're thinking. Absolutely. Because they do bother me. They really, literally. Yesterday, I even talked to my wife about, oh, maybe we should get a dog.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I might even join your kids' camp on this one. They really do bring lots of joy to your life.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we're talking about apps. So the ed tech technology landscape is constantly evolving.
Sure.
So how do you ensure that hands-on experience provided by STIIX aligns with educational standards and goals of school districts that you work with? And how do you keep STIIX at a forefront of the innovation to ensure students receive the best possible learning experience? That's the question that the administration are going to be asking you. And I'm pretty sure you've experienced it already, right?
Totally. Yeah, I never take anything away from any of the other companies in the ed tech world. There's so much cool stuff going on, and I always leave calls and meetings with people and conferences as well. Just I always leave them and say, I'm so jealous of kids these days that when I was going through school, we had none of this cool stuff.
All right.
And there's been so many cool strides taken and just the things these kids are exposed to. I'm jealous, frankly.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Me
And
too.
yeah, they're lucky. They're lucky ducks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just talking about my favorite part of the job, conferences, developing these fun projects. That's my least favorite, actually, is the standards. And although we totally align, we align to all kinds of national and state science and CTE and STEM standards. And I've actually grown to like it a little bit, but these projects do align. It's that open-ended design or open-ended, yeah, design challenge nature of them do align to a lot of those problem solving skills. And when you get into the stoplight project, like I was showing you, it aligns with some of those electricity and magnetism related standards that you encounter when you start to get to the fifth grade middle school. So we totally align to all the standards. It's important, right? If you want to be working with schools and helping them and all their cool initiatives, you got to align to them. And as far as just the technology related part, it's funny you mentioned that right after I mentioned our app. So that's something we're working on, and that's something that we're trying to be innovative through. And of course, I mentioned it's a free resource. So that's where we've got a cool platform online, right? Where we share cool videos, well done videos, but this augmented reality stuff and
Yeah.
virtual reality stuff,
Mhm, mhm.
I've always thought that the best use case for it was education. So now we're swimming in that space a little bit. So we've got this app that we've developed where each of our projects is going to have a module, and within that module, 3 different career strains the kids are gonna get to check out, and so one's kind of your engineering related career. So for your bridge project is the first one we've developed, that's your civil engineer. And then we have a technical related career strain in there as well, so that's a bridge welder. And then the third one, we try to bring in a business-oriented career, and
Oh,
we're doing
nice.
supply chain management. And for each one of those, you're going to learn a couple of things, watch a couple of videos, hear about common personality traits and statistics. Frankly, what do these people make on average?
Yeah.
Because it's tough to know, and there's no reason to hide that. And then they go in, they reflect on questions. They do a cool augmented reality activity in each just to spice it up, show them what a day in the life is. And it's just a cool tool, and that's something we're really proud of. That's where we're trying to be innovative and do some cool things in a free way as well.
Wow. You're thinking ahead, think using apps. I love that part whereby what the day is like, right?
Mm. Yeah.
As an engineer, or as a business owner, for example, and how much can you make, right? This program that I attended yesterday, the speaker was talking about money, how to invest your money. And
Yeah.
one of the guests was asking the possibility of coming to talk to kids
Mm.
and about investing money.
Yeah.
financial literacy. And the speaker wanted to know the age of this of the students. And then there was a concern that the students may not be interested. Then the speaker said, the students will be very interested when you start talking about money,
Yeah.
right?
Even if
So,
it's even if it's a
so
quarter.
what we as educators, what we often take for granted, we don't talk about money enough. I think we need to talk about money and how much potential that you can make in a certain career path, letting the students know this before they get there, right? At least that will help them to be able to make certain type of informed decision. So
Yeah.
I like where you're going with that. I
Yeah.
truly do.
No, I'm totally with you. Although that's separate from my world and the STEM world, right? I think it's,
Right.
oh my gosh, equally as important to habits too, saving habits, all the
No,
above. So
absolutely.
I'm totally with
Absolutely.
you there. I'm totally with you there.
Absolutely. So in traditional educational system, hands-on experience might be limited. And it is true. One of the biggest challenges teachers probably will say, that's going to mess up with my pacing, right? And I need to cover this, right? So how do you collaborate with schools and organizations to tailor STIIX experience to meet their specific needs and objectives? Because if I'm an administrator, I would like my students to do a lot of more hands-on if possible. But the teachers would say, well, resources is the problem, right? So, so how do you collaborate? Or how can you collaborate with schools to incorporate your program seamlessly into their curriculum?
Yeah, IO number one. That's number one. That's a great question. So we've really found a niche in the after school world, funny enough. And that's been really cool. I really fallen in love with the after school world and the people around it. And I didn't know how much impact it had, frankly, until we started, learning about and doing it. So we work with a lot of 21st century community learning centers, if you're familiar with that grant and that program. And just in the after school, there's a little bit more. It's a great place to get introduced into K-12 because there's a little bit less restrictions, if you will, as far as it's not easy to get adopted into the school day. And it's only been over the past year or so where we've really got into the school day through CTE programs and science and STEM curriculum programs. But the after school day is really, or the after school world is and time frame is where we got in and really got to get feedback on these projects, run programs, staff programs, and get the kits and the curriculum in the hands of school staff that are teaching it themselves. So that's how we put together those teacher tips videos, right? As we've seen this stuff in the kids' hands tons of times, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but now we've been able to take some of those testimonies and impact and pictures and all that good stuff from all our work in after school for a couple of years and use that to show to curriculum departments and CTE departments, hey, check this out. Look how this is working. Look, it obviously aligns to the standards. And if you've got the funds for it, and again, we're very affordable, right? But if you've got funding for this supplemental, because we're by no means a core curriculum, right? All these cool projects we were looking at is supplemental. But there's no better way to complement a lesson on renewable energy than getting the kids hands dirty and building their own wind turbine and taking it home to show mom and dad and brag to them about it. So that's how our journey into the actual school day has really taken place. And now, like I said, we have been adopted into the school day. And as soon as this call hangs up, I'm going to get back to packing boxes for it in order as the school year's coming up, my friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been our journey into the school day.
Okay. So what are some of the key elements that makes your educational kit and curriculum stand out from other STEAM programs available in the market?
Yeah, totally. I think we've gone over a lot of this stuff already through the call, but and again, I don't take anything away from any companies. I think there's so many companies doing so many great things. But I would just say, just based on experience in the classroom, when I was in school and in industry, that this is just, there's really no better value. We're a very affordable product. And with this price point, you get custom time with us where we're going to develop a program together. We're going to be very speedy with how we get it to you. We're going to come up with solutions that meet your needs. We've got these free resources. We've got the technology for you. We've got the platform. We've got the fun hands-on activities. And frankly, we're fun to work with, right? We take a lot of pride in
Yeah.
being fun to work with. And that's a lot of it comes down to that.
Yeah.
And just the impactful results and resources, I think, are what sets us apart a little bit. And like I mentioned, the free technology with the app that we're adding to that, I think it's just a combination that not many other programs can offer. But I really do think it all goes back to just being a really user-friendly, impactful solution that teachers aren't gonna open up the box and scratch their head at.
Hmm. I like that. I like that. So building interest in the future professional is crucial aspect of your mission. This is one of the inspiration
Mm,
behind founding and creating this company.
yeah,
Because that it's one of your founding mission, let's say a program, a school, let's say in Baltimore,
mm.
Washington, D.C., wants to collaborate with you, how do you ensure that students from diverse backgrounds have equal access to your programs and opportunity? This is extremely important in a time when diversity and equity seems to be important. We want to see the BIPOC community interested, involved,
Oh,
participating in STEM or STEM programs. So, how do you ensure that there is access to your programs and opportunity?
yeah. No, we've all seen the statistics, right? There's no denying that everybody needs to do a better job of getting representation in STEM from the workforce down. I mentioned that transition from the B2C to the B2B model, like you
Yeah.
said. That has been a really cool thing, and that's part of why it's very rewarding for me as the founder, is a lot of these 21st century community learning centers. In order to qualify for that grant, your school needs to have, I believe it's 40% of students on free or reduced lunch plans. So
Nice.
that's the majority of the populations that we work with, IO, are from diverse backgrounds, and that's been really cool to get this stuff in the hands of those kids. And that's an example of how we actually are serving those different communities. And as far as some of how we build our products with that in mind, in our app, once we'll have to check that out next time we get together, but you log on to the app and you get to choose a guide. I'm actually one of the guides, don't make fun of me, but alongside Alex in there, it wasn't my decision, trust me.
But
Alongside Alex in there, we've got different mentors and guides, because just seeing that there's people in STEM who look like you or sound like you, frankly, is a big deal, right? That's what the representation's all about. So when you log onto the STIIX app, you can slide and choose a mentor that you want, and that's the way we do it there. And then we're a small bootstrapping operation, IO. It is me in a lot of our curriculum videos, but when we get to the career spotlight video, and I know I'm not demonstrating our platform here, but when you get to the final
we'll get
career
there. We'll get there someday. We'll
okay,
get
yeah.
there someday.
The industry spotlight video, that's where we really are very intentional about bringing in all different types of people who work in all different types of roles, and we show diversity in those industry spotlight videos. I wish we had the means, IO, to bring in more diversity for
It
our
will come.
science. Yeah, it'll come.
It will come.
Uh, but that's just how we work some of it. But I couldn't agree more that everyone needs to do a better job of being intentional about this stuff. And I actually almost said, but we're starting to do a better job. But frankly, I'm a reader too. On top of that being my last name, I'm a
Nice.
reader. And I read an article too. And frankly, it's saying that we haven't seen a lot of changes in that still. Everyone needs to be, that's why we're trying to all be innovative and see what sort of creative solutions we can come up with to start to improve this stuff.
Excellent. Excellent. So I like that. So many educators and parents might be interested in integrating hands-on on learning into their teaching practices. As we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of school kids. So what advice will you give uh, to effectively incorporate such experience into their teaching or
Yeah.
into the school day? What kind of support and resources does STIIX usually provide to educators or parents to help them effectively integrate your kids and
Yeah.
curriculum into lesson and into classrooms?
Yeah. Before you put that STIIX twist on that question, one thing that always encourages me is STEM by no means needs to be expensive, right? For free, there are all kinds of free resources. You ever heard of YouTube University? There's all kinds of free resources, and
It is true. It is
yeah.
true. We often take it for granted.
Yes, there you can pull off some sophisticated STEM projects that hit all the standards, this and that, with a matter of a few bucks. So that's the encouraging news, and I just encourage anyone looking. For example, STIIX, all our videos and websites or sorry, all of our videos are free on our website behind no login or anything like that. And if a parent, and some of our projects are sophisticated. They're materials that are custom cut through different saws and various things. Some of our projects, like the famous balsa wood bridge project, get some balsa wood, check out the STIIX videos for free and do the project yourself. If you have the extra time, if you're a homeschool parent, order a couple things and then log on to the STIIX videos, other resources related to civil engineering or bridges in general. You can totally make a lesson out of that. Where STIIX comes in is it is time consuming, right? To curate a lot of this stuff and to put together this curriculum. And school, and like I said in the first place, we are a very affordable option for schools, and that goes back to just being a small business at heart, right? But I would just encourage people that STEM does not need to be expensive to still be impactful and memorable for kids.
That is true. That is true. We often take it for granted. And I wonder, maybe that could be another barrier
Mhm.
for the BIPOC community, because when they think about STEM, they're thinking, oh, it's so expensive. As a
Right.
parent, I don't have the money to put
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah.
That's really, really
And
good.
the other good news there is if you wanna get into drones, something like that, that's a little bit of a different story. The good news, there's funding out there. There's all kinds of grants, and that's something I look for in my workday too, as well as always trying to support and donate. We attend lots of events for free and STEM nights and this and that, and we try to look for grants and various funding initiatives out there for stuff like that. Like I said, when you get into some of these topics, like drones, it is a little bit of a different story. I don't know how to build a drone exactly for only a few bucks, but you still can do some cool experiences for free or cheap.
But you're right. You don't need all these expensive gadgets,
No.
right? Really, to do STEM, at least
Right.
to try to
But you are also right where maybe it's a stigma where people don't realize that. So that's where all of us educators and people from the industry can do a better job as well.
absolutely. And that goes back to this question of sustainability. Sustainability and environment consciousness are essential in today's world. The state integrates eco-friendly practices into the curriculum. Will you elaborate on some examples?
Yeah. I'd love to, and that is an important part of what we do, and who's actually pushed us on that is we work with the library system a little bit, IO. So we have a friend named Vivian, who is one of the programming and STEM heads at the Los Angeles Public Library, and she's really pushed us on that. Number one, going forward, that's how we are building all of our kits is with sustainable materials, with projects that are consumable is the buzzword, right? So non-consumable materials. So classrooms can reuse the projects without having to throw lots of things away.
Mhm.
And so that's we've gone back and edited some of our projects. And in the little bit of free time I have, that is what I enjoy doing is going back and always improving the videos related to projects, the materials related to projects, because like I said, this sustainability problem and just how we curate materials is a passion of mine. So that is how we are building things going forward, how we've edited a few of our projects in collaboration with the Los Angeles Public Library. And just as on the renewable topic in general, I showed our wind turbine project. That's one of our quote unquote best sellers.
Wow.
Schools, organizations are always interested in that one. And one I didn't show you was our solar project. And
Yeah.
we just have intentions to do more and more projects on top of what goes into them, projects that teach kids about renewable energy and renewable energy sources.
Mhm. Excellent. That's really good. So now looking forward into the future, in what way do you see the future of STEM education or STEAM education evolving? And how the states plans to adapt and stay at the forefront educational innovation? That's recently the AI thing that
Yeah.
is taking the world by the storm. Everybody's trying to play catch up, right?
I hear you. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for STIIX to build a hands-on project around, but we need to figure out a way to incorporate it somehow. And I agree. Yep, I think the government's about 5 years too late thinking about all this and trying to create policy around it. I'm with you, but that's probably a conversation for a different day.
Yeah.
As far as innovation and the future of ed tech, as far as it relates to our nature of it, because ed tech is so broad, but just rehashing the fact that I think AR and VR are some of the best you or I'm sorry, education is the best use case for AR and VR. I think you're gonna see more and more goggles and headsets popping up in classrooms, and I think that's great. I think that's great. I think it gets kids excited about topics, and it's a cool way to teach concepts and introduce them to things. And STIIX's role in that, we are always making new projects. And on top of renewable projects, IO, this is actually a little bit different from that, but we're trying to introduce more projects that introduce kids to the trades as well. That's not necessarily technological innovation, but
Yeah.
as far as workforce goes and everything, there's a complete shortage of kids and future professionals in HVAC industry and as coming electricians and rehashing the topic of money. Those kids that are growing up and gonna be proficient in the trades are going to be worth their weight in gold. So that is what we're gonna try to be intentional, at least as far as next steps of STIIX as we continue to develop projects in our curriculum. We're gonna be very focused on making some projects and maybe even forming industry partnerships around activities and hands-on lessons that introduce kids to the trades. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of what's next for us on
No,
top
no,
of
no, no.
we are doing augmented reality and we're gonna continue to build modules in the app. So it's what's next for us and how we're trying to not just keep up, but pave the way and be innovative.
Wow. I like that. I like that. The reason why I like that is people like me and many, right? Our focus is always on STEAM innovation, STEAM
Yeah.
education, STEAM career. But there are certain students that really are not into all of that. They're into trade schools, vocational careers. And that is the other population whose needs to be met.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're already thinking ahead, thinking of those group of population, I like.
Yeah.
This is going to put your company literally because nobody's a lot of that money is not going in that direction.
Yeah.
There's a need for a lot of that money going in that direction. I think you're onto something. Do you want
Well,
to elaborate some more, please?
yeah, I appreciate that, and I would say that there at the high school level, you can start to get immersed in that stuff, right? But before that, there's nothing. And I think there is funding, and I think the country as a whole, the world as a whole, has started to recognize that we do need to start pushing more people into the trades because that's where there's such a huge shortage. And I might even argue with you that it actually is STEM related, right? I think these units and all this is definitely incorporated into STEM, and there's a way to do both at the same time, right? The engineering design process we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I think you alluded to it as well, that just that way of thinking, even if you go be a historian, right? You can apply that engineering design process where you're brainstorming, you're getting ideas, you're iterating, you're building, you're documenting. You can apply that to any field, any industry. So it really is just a way of training your brain to think. So if you are proficient in just STEM, it's gonna serve you well in life no matter where you go, but I agree with you more and more that this stuff that hence why we're starting to think about this and work on it. The stuff needs to get put and just be exposed to kids at a younger age for those going into the trades because we've had this massive shift of everyone needs to go to college and get an accounting degree or engineering degree, right? We need accountants and engineers for sure, like you were just talking about, but we also need people working in the trades. And I've got all the respect in the world for people. I think they're some of the smartest people I know, anecdotally, and very creative people. And I mentioned the industry partnerships aspect because they for sure know they need future technicians and future engineers and groundsmen, for example. So they're investing lots in the next generation. So hopefully that's how we can partner up with them and get kids excited about it from a young age.
Excellent. Excellent. I like that. I like that. I'm going to pivot a little bit. You also are a founder of another company called Accountability.
Oh,
I,
shoot.
I I saw that video, man. That was woo. That was good stuff.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
like it?
god. Oh my god. Can you tell us about accountability? What is that all about?
Oh, that's a curveball.
Yeah, I did. This is
Uh,
good.
it's the accountability card is what we call it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's actually a side project, IO, so that's just
Okay.
kind of what I'm passionate about, but what is fun is we do get it's in my email signature. Is that how you saw it?
Hmm. Yes, that's how I saw it. I
So
was
you know that
curious. Right?
it's a passion project. We're not marketing it by any means and just letting it grow organically. We have an Instagram account,
Okay.
but we've been able to do some cool things with it, and that just goes back to just how for STIIX, I'm passionate about kids being creative, maybe and although we have screens for sure, getting off screens, being creative, working with their hands. The accountability card, which I'll show you one if you want. I got them back here. This goes back to I'm passionate about people having real conversations with each other. And this is this is what I was referring to. It's these accountability cards, and it just talks about the New Year's resolution is what you can think of. That's what the intention is for you to write on the back of this. And put your name on there and give it to a friend. And the hope slash goal is to give them to friends and then them hold you accountable to those lofty goals and just have you in mind and have real conversations around what you write on that card. It's a cool use case for kids all the way up to people 100 years old, right? We could all use accountability and people helping us achieve our goals and helping get the most out of us. And what is cool is just because I'm in the school world, people also see my email signature and they say, we want a few hundred of these for our front office. So it has been a cool way to leverage my platform as the founder of STIIX to get these. And it's all free, right? It's all free, of course, for them to get these in the hands of lots of families just through our relationships with principals and people in the front office and that kind of thing. That's the accountability card.
I really like it. Do you mind if I share your website?
Sure. And I'll send you a few too. And that's
Excellent.
another one. You should have seen my original design for them.
Oh, wow.
Remember, I'm colorblind, so
Well, you're doing well. I like the color. The color blue is good. The background. So this is what it'll, can you see it on your end?
Yep, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, let me see, where is the video? There is a nice video here that I want to play. So there you are. You're a celebrity.
Yeah.
You look like one of those movie stars.
Wow. It just must have been good lighting on that day.
Oh, that is really good. So can I let me play it? Let me play it.
Yeah. Feel free. Oh boy.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for checking out this quick video. My name is Alex and I wanted to put this together just to quickly share a little bit about a passion project of mine and a little bit of vision around what we are calling the accountability card. And I have to apologize in advance if this video is all over the place. We're still on this sort of launch video. And I'm sure we'll also probably make it on our website. So please bear with me. But anyways, this right here actually is the accountability card. And what it is a small physical little card that we actually mail out to you all for free. And if you read through the text on it and what is on the website, you'll see that on one side it has some information and branding and directions on it. And the other side has a few blank lines. The intention is to be vulnerable. Write some things on the back of it that are important to you in your life. Some things that you might need help with, things that you want to be held accountable to or remembered by. And the intention is for you to give them to family or friends that you can really trust, help bring out the best. So on top of it being around the new year and all this talk about New Year's resolutions, I really do just think that there's a city among young and for friendships that really go past the surface. And I hope at least that when you are older, you discard some thought and pass it along to those friends or family that they keep it close by, either in a wallet or on their desk, and find themselves checking in with you and fostering some of those meaningful conversations, strengthening relationships, ultimately helping bring out the best version of yourself. Now, even though these are entirely free, like I said earlier, what I don't know is if this idea resonates with anyone else or if a single one of these things will ever be nailed out. But that is a little bit of our vision. And if you aren't there already, I really encourage you to go check out our website. That's where you can go to see and learn a little bit more about what we're trying to do here. And also see some examples of traits on the back of your card, like being generous, getting out of your comfort zone more often, taking bad habits like biting your nails, or real talk, meaning something as serious as an addiction. And just to quickly wrap up, you can always pull something like this off by just writing something down on a sticky note, passing it along to a friend. But hey, what's the fun in that? Plus, these things look cool and they're free, like I mentioned earlier. So please take advantage of that. Order a few and see where it takes you. And if it turns into a great experience, or if you have any other feedback, please share that. We're hopefully hearing this. Yeah. You made it this far. Thanks so much for your time, everyone. Hope you have a great weekend.
I know.
Yeah, no further comment. That's better than I did.
Man, I love it. I love it. And your demeanor, you have a really wonderful demeanor. You're relatable. People can relate to you. That's one of the advantages you have. So what got you thinking to create accountability? In my mind, working with students, I can see the advantage, especially between teachers and students, or between counselors, guiding counselors and students, between coaches, community. You can approach the guiding counselors or the teachers and said, I have this accountability card that you can use in education. Basically, a student gives us words, words that they're going to do something, maybe come to school regularly,
Yeah.
complete their homework assignment.
Yeah.
So that accountability card can become very useful. I can see that.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got something. So what inspired you to, because I really see the possibilities here. So what inspired you to start this?
It's a great question, and I think it goes back to having when it's New Year's resolution time. And have you seen the statistics about how 75% of people break their New Year's resolutions before we're guilty, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it goes back to that, and you know what? Frankly, just as a young adult, that was my original intention for the audience was get to see young adults, and I think there is a kind of a barrier, if you will, and just unfortunate how little conversation takes place face to face or over the phone and takes place over text, and I think a little bit of meaning and intention gets lost there. So that was part of it was I was trying to bring some of that conversation and just genuine friendship talk back in person, right? And handing this to someone and saying, "Hey, I could use your help. I could use accountability." Holding on to these New Year's resolutions, helping me out with this, just in general, holding me accountable to all that. It has been cool. We do have a use case like you mentioned. So that's what I was saying is that was the original intention was a young adult crowd, but it does work great for kids. It does work great for adults. We've got a principal friend here in Phoenix. Principal Anthony, huge shout out in case you watch this. Their school just got an A+ rating from the state, which is
Raise the roof, raise the
yeah,
roof.
all their hard work and creativity, and this is another example of why they're such great leaders. He reached out and said, "Hey, can we get some of these cards for our staff, welcome back meeting?"
Yeah.
And that's taking place tomorrow, actually, a couple days from now. And that's what they're gonna do. IO is he's gonna hand them out to the staff, just the vibe, right? How everyone comes back from summer and they do their welcome back meeting.
Oh,
Hand
man.
them, they're gonna do a little exercise using them, and of course, like I mentioned, it's all free. Of course, I sent them a few in the mail, and I hope it works wonders for them. Maybe not, but
I suspect it will work wonders because I'm a teacher, I'm an educator.
yeah,
Guess what? It's not only just teaching students, it's also building relationships.
yeah,
This is a great tool to build a good relationship and to hold students and staffs accountable to each other. And every time you pull it out of your wallet, you see it. I asked one of my guests how he was able to complete his computer degree. He said, I wrote it down.
oh,
He said, I wrote it down. Right. And I told myself I was going to do this. And I put it in my wallet.
yeah,
Every time I pull it out, it's like a self affirmation.
yeah, yeah. When, like,
So
going gets tough, you gotta know that to remind them, right?
to remind, literally, this, I literally can't, it seems like something so simple, but effective,
Yeah,
especially in the educational setting.
mhm.
So this is a goal. I personally, that's what I think.
I appreciate the kind
Well
words.
done.
Appreciate it, and yeah, it can be silly things, it can be, serious things, it's whatever people choose to make of it, but yeah, I appreciate the kind words and affirmation. We got
Excellent.
I did have to reorder some. The first go, we dropped that commercial on the website that you showed, and I think I had 5,000 of them, and they're gone now. So it's cool
Wow.
that one. I just pulled the show.
Wow.
But we got another big fresh stack now. A big part of that is when schools order them, and
Right, right, right.
when a university admissions department gives them out when kids take college tours, they got a bunch of them.
I like the idea when staffs are coming back, when students are coming back, straight fresh out of. So when you are doing that student code of conduct, this is a great time to pass it out.
Yeah.
So I see it going a long place. Please do. You need to find a way whereby you bring it. That this podcast would help a lot because I'm going to say something about it. Have you checked out this accountability card? Right. This literally, I can just imagine. Right? I'm excited about that, by the way. So, can you share any exciting upcoming projects or development that we can look forward to from STIIX?
Yeah, you know what, we've talked about a lot of it already. We're definitely busy getting ready for the fall, packaging lots of things up, having lots of meetings. We're doing lots of cool things. Like I said, we're starting to get adopted into some school day curriculums, and that's been a really rewarding, really fun thing to do. But mainly our app is what I'm very excited for. I'm very excited to see what that does, how it gets adopted, and it's going to be available to everyone and anyone. So I have a blast playing and prototyping and messing around with it. So I'd say short answer, our app. And The app is by no means meant to replace what the original intention and passion of STIIX was, that hands-on learning, but really just to complement it, while alongside your build, you get to learn some more about it. For example, in the bridge, you're going to get to see some good and bad bridge design before you actually get to build. So it's going to be a tool to help you build a better bridge too. That's where some of our innovations happening, and what we're investing in right now is that, and some of those other fun new projects that are on the horizon too, like some of those renewable energy ones. Can't share too many hints. And
Nice. I understand.
very technical related fields that we're going to develop a project around as well.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Really, I'm looking forward to seeing you really succeed. I see that you're doing something to address the engineering resources issue. I am into STEM. Part of my dissertation was on that. As I mentioned to you, when I did my dissertation, one of the things that I've discovered during my interview with many of the teachers is that they don't have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
We're asked to teach STEM, right? We're asked to integrate science and engineering practices within our curriculum. But the biggest challenge that they have is that they don't have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that you're doing this, it's, oh, wait a minute. Definitely, I need to bring you on so that other teachers can see what you're doing. And hopefully, my hope is that other teachers will see you as a resource that they can reach out to and say, help, we need help. So that is the ultimate hope. So as we conclude, what final thoughts or recommendation do you have for educators, parents, professionals, school leaders, school districts who are interested in your product, please?
Yeah. Number one, I can't let you say all those nice things without me responding to you and reciprocating that. It means the world that you had me on today. I appreciate it. And I know this podcast is going to reach not too far from now lots of people and be an awesome resource. So keep up the great work. And thanks again for having me, Io. As far as answering your question, I'm the contact point for STIIX, and we like to help serve however we can. We're servants at heart. And like I said, we're a very affordable product. And just for a great value, you're getting an awesome STEM resource. You're getting great online resources and a platform and great technology. We do free professional development and just work together. So I'm the contact point. I'm a total nerd, all things STEM, CTE, and CTE is really not what we talked about this, but that goes back to a big part of just this career exploration. So career and technical education, I think, should be a big focus for districts going forward. And I just encourage educators to start that at a young age, so we don't have this workforce crisis that we're in the middle of right now and feeling the repercussions of. So luckily, I don't need to tell them that. Educators and people at the top of school districts know that. They're investing in it. So I just hope they see value in STIIX, and STIIX has been very blessed. We've been growing and working and doing some cool things. I appreciate you giving me a platform, Io, to share a little bit more about what it is we do, what we're all about, and what we're trying to accomplish together with awesome educators and people like you. I think we're all on the same page about what needs to be done and the steps we can take in the near and far term.
Thank you so much. And thank you for those kind words. And thank you so much for sharing with our audience about STIIX and the resources that you're providing as it pertains to engineering resources. Thank you so much, Alex, for taking time out of your precious time to come on to this program. By the way, talking about this program, want to give an announcement. Recently, we've decided that we are going to make a little change to the name of this program. So now the name of this program is STEAM Spot. STEAM Spot.
Like it.
Yeah, STEAM, again, STEAM, just like STEAM education.
Yep.
STEAM Spot, as you can see in our conversation. STEAM education has an implication to national security, workforce readiness, for the 21st century, competitiveness. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. All of these fields really matter, and they play they're vital to our economy, to our health, to sustainability. your competitive edge in this world and in this country. So the name of our program now is going to be called STEAM Spot Think STEAM Career Podcast.
Wow.
STEAM Spot. We decided to design this program because we want the BIPOC community to be part of STEAM innovation. It is important for our economy. It is important for our health. It is important for our sustainability. So as STEAM field continue to innovate, our intention is to continue to invite great people like Alex doing great things, the champions in and for STEAM innovation, to come onto this program to talk to us about what they're doing. And the hope of this is to inspire and get some insights how the BIPOC community can be part of the innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to find a way to increase our participation, our competitive edge in this competitive world in the 21st century. That the workforce and the economy is built on innovation taking place in the STEM fields. We cannot do it by infighting, by getting rid of programs that are important in building our capacity. So working together, I think we can build our capacity. It has to involve all Americans. So I just want to thank Alex for what he's doing. His company STIIX are providing engineering resources. These are really vital for our efforts to try to get students and teachers to utilize the science and engineering practices. One of the major challenges for teachers is the resources for engineering. So you've got companies like Alex, STIIX, that is provided this kind of resources. And the great thing about Alex's company is you don't have to spend a lot of money, right? And he's providing some of these resources free. So why don't you reach out, connect, collaborate, all right? Make something so that we can build these numbers up. Again, thank you so much, Alex, for your time today. I want to wish you a great day and success in your company. And by the way, for counselors, coaches in the school, I would like to recommend that you look into accountability. What a great what a great tool to use to build a relationship with students, a relationship between students and teachers, between even parents and their children. All right. So I just want to put my own thought in there. So thank you, everyone. See you the next time. Bye, everyone.